All right, welcome back to Seven Figure Seller Summit Day 2. We had a ton of value today talking all about marketing and branding for your Amazon business and e-commerce business. So I am super excited to have 3 of our speakers with us here today, and we may get some surprise guests later as well. So I'd like to introduce our guests. First, we have Vadim Petrov from Latvia. How's it going, Vadim?
Yeah, going well. Thanks, Gary.
Excellent. So Vadim is the Amazon image expert. He really laid out what I call the 10 commandments of an Amazon product image, how to increase your sales. So welcome back, Vadim. You were on the live kickoff as well. And also I'd like to welcome our friend Chris Davey from Shenzhen. How's it going, Chris?
你好，恭喜发财。
Happy Chinese New Year, my friend. Happy Chinese New Year. Chris is in China. He's behind the Great Firewall. It's a privilege to be able to connect with you. And Chris is a 7-figure seller. He's an alumni of the summit, and he really laid out his plan how to rank on page 1 on Amazon from day 1. So definitely do not miss out on that. This guy is a wealth of knowledge. So welcome, Chris. Next, I'd like to welcome Matt Singers. Good morning, Vietnam. How's it going, Matt?
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Very good morning. Yep.
Yes. Mads is actually, he's going to be on day 3 because he's an expert when it comes to affiliate marketing, how to reach out to affiliate marketing sites to link back to your Amazon product. So this way you can get them to write you reviews, you can get SEO boost, drive external traffic to your Amazon listing, which helps boost your ranking because Amazon loves that. So welcome, Mads. Great to see you. And also, I'd like to welcome Emma Shermer-Tamir from Marketing by Emma. Good to see you, Emma. How's it going?
Hello, Gary. It's good. How are you?
Good. Welcome back, Emma. Emma is a copywriting expert. She's done $1 million product listings on Amazon. So she really laid out how to increase your conversion rates, how to create a dominating brand for your Amazon product listings. So definitely, guys, if you haven't checked out their sessions yet, I'd love for you guys to check them out. But today, it's kind of like the recap, in my view, it's kind of like the 80-20, right? I mean, maybe you only saw one session or you didn't catch any. I'd like to just give you guys the 80-20 of everything that was covered today. So you can take some nuggets, you can apply it to your business right now. So because we are live, there's the element of surprise, right? Technology, stuff could go wrong. So if you guys can see and hear us, could you please type your name and where you're watching from in the chat? Okay. So that way we know that this is working. Great. So to kick things off, guys, Chris, you are the first speaker today, and I really love your topic. Could you share the 80-20 of what you covered today? And then for everybody watching, if you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat because this is a golden opportunity to ask these experts and get unblocked and level up your business.
Yeah, I mean, what I talked about today was basically how to rank your product on page 1 from day 1. Now, it kind of sounds a bit weird and sounds a bit unusual, but what the golden nugget of it is I'm not using any special strategies apart from having a good product to get there. Yeah, having a good and unique product, but with keyword searches, which is like not what a lot of people are looking for. So people are coming searching Amazon for your product, but it's just not on there or it doesn't exist. And we're basically doing predictive keyword research, if you like. We know what people are going to be searching for in 3 or 6 months' time, and we're developing products so that they come out lined up for when that's going to be searched for. They could already be searching for it, and it could be no products exist, but that's basically in a nutshell. And obviously I'll go into it in more detail, and I'll show a product that I launched in December and how it came in at position 9 on page 1 on the 4th of December, I think. And by the 9th of December, it was in position 1 on page 1 for the main keyword for that product. that product now. By the way, yesterday I checked, it's got 101 organic reviews since December the 4th when we launched it. And that's 101 reviews actually in 101 days. It's not a huge selling product. It only sells like maybe 10 a day. But yeah, I mean, it's good, you know. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I think that, you know, that's the key, right? You want to rank on page one from day one. And I love what you're doing because you're not using a lot of the popular, you know, shiny new objects out there, you know, like, you know, ManyChat and rebates, right? So definitely check out Chris's session. And you're getting reviews, you know, without doing any black hat tactics as well.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. The only thing we do for our reviews now, I mean, Amazon kind of scared us with all the things they keep changing the rules every 5 minutes. So in the end, I'm like, oh, I got fed up with changing all these templates for sending out emails to keep up to date with Amazon's latest policy change. So now we just basically use the give us a review button in Amazon, and that's it. We don't use anything else. I'm just thinking there was one other thing, but I forgot what it was now. But anyway, it's early.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Okay. All right, great. So if you guys have any questions for Chris about ranking, about getting more reviews organically, let us know in the chat. So meanwhile, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Gary in New York and Asmi in Melbourne, Australia. So also, I'd love if we can get some more people into this room because I think this is a golden opportunity. So if you have any friends that are selling on Amazon, or maybe, you know, they totally forgot about the live kickoff, you know, invite them in right now. Why don't you share? Sharing is caring, so we can really make this a mastermind. All right. So next, I'd like to get to Emma because Emma, thank you for coming on. I know you're a busy woman, so you may have to pop out early, but I'd like you to just drop some nuggets talking about copywriting and talking about, you know, creating conversion spiking listings so you can build an unbeatable brand. Oh, you're muted, Emma.
It would be one of those days, wouldn't it? Sorry about that.
There we go.
First of all, thank you for having me, Gary. I'm really happy to be back for another 7-figure seller summit. And I think that what I'm talking about piggybacks really nicely off of Chris's idea. So I speak about differentiation. And so you need to have a product that's unique, but then you need to know how to communicate that in a way that's going to help you really convince your customers that you're a good fit for what they're looking for. And so even if whether you're taking Chris's strategy and, you know, finding those completely untapped parts of the market, or you're selling something that is more competitive, you need to make sure that you have a strategy with your marketing that is very clear about who your customers are and that you're able to communicate in a way that's going to engage them, that's going to build trust, that's going to communicate all of those key details that somebody needs to know. And so then by the time they're adding to cart, they know it's a good fit. They're going to want to leave a review. They're going to have a positive experience. You know, it may not be the sexiest thing to talk about in marketing, but things like accuracy are really important. So you don't want to go over the top. You want to really make sure that you are not leaving any questions unanswered. And in doing all of those things, not only can you hopefully make those sales, but also invest in really beginning to create a brand for yourself so that whether you want to expand beyond Amazon or just create more brand recognition to sell other products in your line, then you're getting one step closer to being able to do that.
Definitely. And also, you know, I love the case study that you shared in your session, Emma, with the number one seller that was actually in I think it was the dog clothing niche we talked about. And, you know, it was just amazing. Like there were like typos, there were like misspellings, and some of it was, I don't think it was even like proper like English, but still they're the number one seller. So I think there's a prime opportunity for a lot of sellers to just go in and compete against that because they're not, you know, they're not optimized, right? I mean, I feel like it's almost like, you know, it's like a David versus Goliath battle, right? I mean, you can see like the best sellers, but I mean, there's still a lot of room for you to come in and to take that market. So
100,
I mean,
100%.
yeah,
It's also, it's a situation where I think people may see those types of examples, and in their mind, they think, okay, well, listing doesn't matter then, right? Because they're achieving success or seemingly success. Maybe they're paying a lot in PPC in order to be able to secure that placement. But they're seeing that and maybe taking it as an example of the fact that, okay, well, I can just, slap something together really quickly and I don't need to be thoughtful about this. And that's doing an incredible disservice to you, because if you could really invest the time to make sure that you're addressing all of those points, like the listing that we looked at, even the basic trying to figure out what size is the appropriate coat for your dog was so confusing. The infographics were a mess, the text was all over the place. And so how many orders are they probably getting of people that are buying the wrong size for their dog and then either feeling frustrated with having to do the return and giving up, or just having a poor experience because of that? So there are all those other things that people aren't necessarily thinking about. And so rather than looking at it as a reason why you don't need to be investing the time and effort into that, looking at it as really an opportunity to be able to set yourself apart and win over some of these big sellers.
For sure. And we have our first question already from Asmi, and this is related to what we're talking about right now. If most of the competing products have very similar descriptions and wording, how do you differentiate yourself in your niche? So who would like to weigh in on this first?
I can weigh in, which is I don't have a lot of competing products normally, so I don't have a problem with that. So like if you go and watch my presentation, you'll see that when my product comes out, generally people are searching for it and there's nothing else around, and it's the exact product that people are looking for, and that's how to rank it. Amongst your competition, because you're there first.
Right. So Chris, in other words, he goes after like a blue ocean, right? Not like a red ocean with like 1,000 different people selling a Me Too product.
If I see a lot of competing products, then I'm gone. I'm not there anymore. I've got to be there first. To be able to compete. I don't want 17 pages of the same product. Right.
And Emma, would you like to weigh in?
Sure. So assuming that you do want to be competitive in a competitive niche and that you don't take Chris's approach, which is probably a way less stressful approach to take.
All right, it can be. It depends whether I predicted it right or not. But until now, I've been doing okay. So
yeah. Well, every strategy has its challenges. But assuming that you are competing in a highly competitive space, that's where your sort of unique perspective and your clear understanding of your customers becomes even more important. So let's say that you're selling something incredibly basic. Like I'm just looking around and I have an empty white mug. It really cannot get more basic than that. That is something that, like, what can really make this mug special from any of the other mugs? It doesn't even have something fun or cute to catch the eye. So you need to start thinking about, okay, in that case, is there something about my business that maybe makes us special? Like perhaps your business is really committed to minimizing unnecessary waste in the manufacturing process, and sustainability is a really crucial part. So it's not actually impacting the mug itself, but maybe that is influencing your choices of the types of packaging that you're using, and the way that where you're manufacturing and all of those different details. So you really want to make sure that you're bringing that perspective into the listing. So even though you're not necessarily just, differentiated on the product, you are finding a way to connect with customers who care about sustainability and maybe didn't even know that they had an opportunity to see that belief of theirs reflected in their choice of coffee mug that they're purchasing on Amazon.
Definitely.
I think what Emma is trying to say, that you need to find unique selling points that would be different to what competitors are saying. If everyone is having this similar description and wording, then you still need to find something or come up with something that would be different. And same we do with images. If everyone has the same wording description, we would still think outside of the box what would make it better. And I think one of the things that could make it better is the easiest thing that you could do is probably offer warranty. That's one of the things that we usually advise. The other thing could be adding review images where you focus really on that, maybe everyone else just showing the mug and just explaining, this is that, this is this is material and so on. But if you actually like sell it or show it as a #1 mug, or it's the original, the best mug ever, like this is like the most reviewed, like everyone else is just a rip-off of this mug. If you position yourself like that you could stand out really. And yeah, like with different kind of I guess ideas around how to position this product in the market. Even though it's the same, you could still create illusion that it's better, and just by using different wording and different images.
Yeah, I really like what Vadim covered in his session. In terms of the imaging, it's not just like a formula that is the same for every product, right, Vadim? I mean, it's not just like a product photo, a lifestyle infographic, right? You really went through like 12 different, like 10 different ways, and like even like one thing that stood out. Maybe you want to talk about like different camera angles that you do. It's just so it's almost like you're holding the product in your hand. I mean, even though it's online, so you kind of simulate that offline, because this really spikes up the conversions, right?
Yes, of course. There are lots of different aspects that build trust and create like very good user experience when someone is looking at the listing. And like one of the things that I already mentioned was defining your USPs. And the other things is more like technical when we get to angles. So we want to replicate this experience, like someone being holding this cup. They looked at it from all the angles. So there are lots of different angles. So one is like flat lay, where it's just like this. So you don't see the eclipse at the top. Then you can twist it a little bit. That's 3D. That's what we call 3D. Usually photographers do 45 degrees, something like that, but this is too high. Usually something like this would be very, very nice. And then, yeah, like hand shots. Hand shots is so important because first of all, it replicates experience of someone holding the item. Because in retail, when we go to the shop, we can actually take something in hand, we can touch it. And what we also do in a shop, we also look at it. We try to get the closer look of things. That's where this other angle comes in, which is close-ups, where you really show something up close, and suddenly you get this another perspective, and you feel like you've held it in hand, you had to look closer, and then you again come back, add the logo or something. So throughout the whole listing experience, you should be changing all the angles. So by the end of the listing, everyone gets a feeling that they've seen everything, they know everything about this product. And that's also, I guess, answers a lot of concerns it's a very basic thing. It's like the way we shop in retail. We go to shop, we touch it, we look at it, and we read information. So you need to be able to provide all that information as well online, just replicating that experience.
Excellent. Yeah.
So
I think
my input, Gary, would be slightly different. So I think, first of all, if some people have a very good description, there's not actually any harm getting close to that, because reality is a lot of the people who do sell a ton actually invest a lot of money into getting very solid descriptions, right? Now, obviously, if you have some good USPs, great, add them, right? But I think you can actually learn a lot from the top results. Now, the way I look at it is you just need to sell more, right? And I think a lot of people spend so much time and energy on, making the best description. Images are obviously critical, right? But I think people spend a lot of energy trying to make very unique descriptions. But really, depending on the product, what does it do? Like if you're selling a basic cup, are you really going to make a description that's going to increase your conversion by 50%? Maybe not, right? I think focusing on actually generating more sales and actually, getting your product out, because in the end of the day, it's all about sales, right? And yes, you might be able to slightly increase your conversion rate, but I think a lot of people spend too much time and resources in doing tiny tweaks instead of focusing on the things that actually makes a difference, which is generating the sales, right?
And Matt, can you talk about that, generating more sales? I love what you covered because you're thinking outside the box. You're going outside of Amazon to generate traffic.
Right. So, I mean, for me, the main problem most people have is they pay a fortune every time they launch products, right? So they put themselves in a position where, they're giving away hundreds of thousands of products, or that they're spending a ton of money in ads and so on whenever they launch a product. But the way I look at it, that there's tons of people talking about products, and you want to get in their face, right? Some people use a little bit of influencer marketing, but most people are not getting much results from it because they're not really arranged it in a way where, the influencers are paid by performance. So really a lot of the time they end up paying $500 or $1,000 for some influencer to put their product up, and often they can't even track the actual results of it. So basically the outcome they get is not particularly great, right? But basically what I always say is, like, go out and find people, and I go through that in my presentation as well, but basically go out, find people who are talking about products like your product, and get them to mention your product specifically, right? There's lots and lots of ways where you can generate, depending on the product, but 100 or 500 or 1,000 extra sales a month, with making the right deals with the right people. And the key thing is, like, you don't want to pay if people aren't performing. So most of the affiliate stuff we do, you're basically paying people money if they generate the sale. If they don't generate the sale, they don't get paid, right? So it's a much more solid approach, I think, than the way that most people do it, where, with much marketing, you pay up front, right? Like even with PPC, you often end up paying a good bit of money and you're not necessarily sure what you're getting out of it, or you don't know your upfront PPC cost and what you're going to pay per sale.
Right.
Whereas the brilliant thing with affiliate marketing is you're basically giving a percentage of commission, right? So you always know that you're gonna make a profit if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, it's exactly. I mean, you can measure it, right? I mean, it's measured. Exactly. I mean, like Peter Drucker, you said, whatever gets measured gets managed. So you can measure your affiliate commissions and stuff like Facebook ads, for example. That could be very hard, and you're dumping a lot of money, and you're not sure about the performance. I have this struggle, so I think that Matt's what you're teaching is affiliate marketing is like, it's kind of like a ninja tactic, right?
I mean, you both have typical affiliate marketing, but even people with big lists, right? Like pretty much whatever. I mean, if you're selling cups, you might have a little bit hard time with that, but most people selling products that are in a niche with people with big email lists, right? So if you find, I mean, I don't know, let's say you sell a water bottle that's amazing for working out or whatever, right? Like there's a lot of people in the sort of workout space or fitness space that have a big list, like lists of 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 people. Now, again, if you get them talking about you, that's going to make a much, much, much bigger difference than, if you tweak a couple of words in your product description and so on, right? Again, I do go through it in quite a bit of detail, but the whole thing is, first of all, it's very delegatable and outsourceable, which is great. But the second thing is that it's one of those things that even if you do it yourself, you're relatively likely to get a big output from your effort, right? And again, with Amazon, like if you're not getting sales, you don't have anything. Like if you have a product with a great description, but you're on page 5, like you're not getting anything, all right? So the whole thing for me revolves around sales. And I mean, I've run a couple of e-commerce stores, and I've done like I've been back and forward with a lot of this stuff, right? But I think fundamentally it's about generating sales in ways that is actually feasible, right? AKA not just giving away thousands of products and so on.
Right.
Actually, touching on what you're saying, I actually met a guy in Shenzhen, was from Egypt, and he had an interesting strategy, which I think maybe kind of like lines up with what you're doing, which was he was basically doing like MLM marketing for Amazon. He was going out to Egypt and he was hiring freelancers, but he was telling them, hey, I'm not actually going to pay you. I'm only going to give you commission. And basically, like on this product, when I sell it, I make $20 and I'll give you $10 for every one you sell. And he went out and he just found like loads of people. And he's like, I'm not paying you by the hour. I'm only paying you by the sale. And he just got them all working for him. Now it's kind of good, but he did have a few problems where like they shared like other people's content to get him clicks and stuff like that. Yeah, and like without the other people's permission and stuff like that. But it was working really well. I mean, I haven't seen this guy for about a year and a half. I do need to match up with him. So, but it's a kind of similar strategy, I think. So.
Yeah, I think the main thing is that when you're looking at Amazon, the best thing you can get is consistent sales that doesn't originate on Amazon. Like if you can consistently get sales coming from outside Amazon where you're paying a relatively small percentage in commission for it, you're winning, because that alone will bring you up in the rankings. And then with your Amazon sales on top, the whole thing is, if you're getting more sales from outside Amazon than all of your competitors, then at some point you will float to the top, right? And that's for me, that's the game, right? And it is
Chris, are you doing anything like that with the external marketing off Amazon?
No, I mean we're working with influencers, but we're probably not measuring it good enough, gauging what Mads said. So we're kind of doing it for more brand awareness than getting sales. On that particular brand, like everyone loves our products, so every person we've approached actually, like sub 50,000 Instagram followers, they basically agreed to like help us promote our product for free because they already knew our product, or maybe they already had our product and they already knew our brand. And so they were excited even to be contacted by us, which is kind of a good position to be in. But that's on one of our brands. On the other one, we haven't really tried it, and I don't think it will be like that. It will be a completely different story. So we're not really doing it at the moment, but for sure, Mads is getting me thinking about what we could be doing. So.
Excellent.
I think we have a question as well.
Yes. Well, excellent. I want to give quick shout out to Paul Barron, who just joined us, one of our guests that joined us right now. How's it going, Paul?
Good. Hey, sorry I'm so late. It was it's just, being a dad, I had to go pick up my daughter and took a little bit longer, traffic.
No worries. I mean, I'm in the same boat. I mean, being a dad, it's not easy, but better late than never, Paul. I'm so glad you could join us.
Yeah.
We're actually right in the middle of a question that I was thinking about you, because people are talking about, ways to generate traffic, off of Amazon to their listings. And, some people, it's hard to find influencers that, that actually has a positive ROI. I know, I mean, you're the man to talk to, right? I mean, you've built an army of these nano influencers, which you really laid out in your session, that really help you, create more content, from Instagram, and really boost your sales. I'm just curious, what advice would you give to people that kind of are considering this, Paul?
Yeah, so if they're considering building out nano influencers, or looking at external traffic, or kind of the whole.
Yeah, let me bring back the original question, Paul, just to bring you up to speed. So Asmi asked, if most of the competing products have very similar descriptions and wording, how do you differentiate yourself in your niche? So, we're just kind of going around the table. We're talking about, Emma was talking about copywriting, Vadim was talking about images, Mads, he's talking about affiliate marketing, driving traffic from affiliate review sites. And so I'm curious, what's your take on this, Paul?
Yeah, it all starts with product. It all starts with product market fit. If you're looking at ways that you have no material difference, if there's zero different about your product other than your name, then you're generally going to be in a fight to the bottom. You're going to be you're going to be looking at like who can sell it for the least amount of money. And so that's where I always look at the product first. I look at what is it that we're doing? How are we solving our customers' problems better? And then if you truly have material differences that you're doing that, then you need to go into like the copywriting realm, where Emma is obviously a master at that, because you need to make sure that you can put those key differentiating factors in front of your audience. The biggest thing that I see a lot of people failing to execute on is actually understanding what it means to build a brand and have branded assets and really know what it means to be a brand versus just an Amazon seller. And so that's the big pivot that I always ask people to make is I want them to think about themselves as Amazon sellers. Yes, you may sell on Amazon, but don't say you're an Amazon seller or you're an Amazon business owner, because Amazon is the only Amazon business owner. You're in your business. You're whatever your brand is, that's who you are. So you need to find ways to differentiate, to build value, to tell your story and communicate your story of how your brand is different and how you're helping people like get from A to Z, whatever that Z point may be. It could be you're solving a problem or you're providing for a future pleasure or something. You're making a pain in the ass task a little bit less pain in the ass. You're making it easier. How do you differentiate that? And if you really find that there is nothing that you can really do, that's like, let's say it's you're buying the exact same thing from, say, a supplier in China. I'm looking at a product that one of our potential clients had shipped us, and it's basically just a classic white label thing. It's they have like a package that they just put, it's not even his logo, it's just his name. Brown package, nothing about branding, no way to connect with them off of Amazon. And really the only thing that's going to be different is the price, because it's the exact same product. Literally, there's nothing different. So I would not sell in that category because there's nothing that I can do to differentiate myself other than, amazing copywriting and marketing. And really what you're going to find there, if you're pulling those levers of copywriting and marketing, but you don't actually have real physical differences in ways that your product is better, then it's just going to be a race to the bottom. And it really comes down to whoever has the most money and who can sustain the lowest margins for the longest. And that's just not a fight that I want to be in.
Yeah, 100%. That's right. And yeah, that's great advice. I think that's the number one thing. That's the 80-20, right? I mean, no matter how much marketing, how much money you're going to throw at it, I mean, you can't, it's like putting lipstick on a pig, right? I mean, it's still going to be a pig at the end of the day, right? So, right. I mean, come on, the product, that's number one, guys. That's number one. So
yeah,
that's a great question. Yeah.
So focus on the product. And the other thing is, if you're not a part of if you haven't paid for the recordings, and I outlined like steps that you can go through, like very succinct, like do this, and this is how you find influencers. So if you're not, if you haven't upgraded, then you need to do that so you can watch the recordings.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. And definitely we have the all access pass upgrade for those people that haven't upgraded already. You can unlock all of the sessions. And, Paul's session talking about influencers, how to build a list, how to build sales and build profit using his nano influencer strategy. I highly recommend you guys do that. And, Paul is very transparent about his product as well. And tell us why. Well, you're not afraid of revealing your product, because most people are, Paul. Why is that?
Because we don't sell a Me Too product. We built a brand. I mean, if you want to try to get on Rachel Ray and have a meeting with Barbara Corcoran and also be in Forbes magazine and also be named the best by parents.com, feel free to try. But honestly, I mean, I would just say if you want to draw inspiration from our brand, can you at least add it to your cart? Because I don't want our conversion rates tanking. And I've seen that like we're having a lot more sessions, but honestly, even that's a joke. You don't need to do that. But really what it comes down to is the way that my brain is wired is that I look at people like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, and they're humans. They fart, they burp, they have belly buttons. They probably annoy their spouses. I mean, Jeff is no longer married, so clearly he did something wrong there. But my point is that just because these people have made a name for themselves, it doesn't mean they're no different than you and I. I mean,
Right.
they built something, they worked their asses off, they did a good job. But if I look at those, the Steve Jobs of the world, and I can take my cues from him and how he built a brand, that's what we're doing. And we're just doing it in the baby space with keeping poop out of pools and giving back to missions organizations that help bring people out of poverty. So feel free, draw inspiration. Honestly, if they're if they're in your line, if you have a baby, I'd love it if you bought them when you're looking at them.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick some up soon once the weather gets warmer, Paul. All right, excellent.
Awesome.
So let's move on, guys. Okay, we have another question from Easy. All right, how do I find which e-commerce avenue is right for me? Private label, print on demand, arbitrage, dropship, FBM, and last night I discovered replens. Lots of info and training so far, but no sales yet. What advice would you guys give Easy here? Curious.
Do you want me to be honest and nice, or just honest?
I think let's just be honest. I mean, people need help. We know each other already. Yeah.
I mean, you got to shit or get off the pot. Like, seriously, if you're just dabbling here and there, you're never going to make money. You've really got to find one and really, really delve into it and figure it out and make it your own. Because people that are playing in this, I hope I make money, you're always going to hope you make money because you've never actually took it and did the biggest things that set successful people apart from people that aren't successful is the successful people choose to be successful. They choose that there is no plan Bs. So I get being in a spot. I mean, shoot, there was times when I was making $400 when I asked I asked my father-in-law if I could marry his daughter, my wife. And so I understand not having money. I've been there. But you need to have a path forward. So maybe it's retail arbitrage to build up a nest egg. But while you're doing retail arbitrage, you're also doing product research so that you can private label your own stuff. And you're not just doing private product research, but you're also thinking of ways to improve that product. So I've talked enough. There's other smart people here, so I'll stop talking.
No, that's excellent advice. I think in terms of mindset, right? You gotta, what you said, successful people choose to be successful. You need to have a path forward. So Easy, I would, I agree with Paul. You gotta take action, right? I mean, obviously there's a risk involved with any business, right? But it's the risk reward ratio. If you never get in the game, if you're always on the sideline, you're just going to watch the whole game pass you by. And I think for e-com right now, 2021, this is going to be another golden year, rebounding from last year, but still, there's a lot of uncertainty. People are continuing to stay away from offline. E-commerce is still booming. And, you see all the sellers here, they're doing well, but at the same time, everyone had their own failures, right? So I think one of the key takeaways for me is either you win or you learn, right? Think about that. It's not you win or you fail. You win or you learn. So maybe, arbitrage didn't work out for you, but you got your feet wet. You open your Amazon account, you learn how it works, and you're ready to move on. Maybe that wasn't right for me. I started out in arbitrage over a decade ago, back when I was in the US. I used to go on Craigslist. I would hunt the garage sales in like Beverly Hills. I would go where all, Brentwood, where all the rich people were. And I would pick up the stuff they didn't want, and I'll flip it on eBay. I made, a couple $1,000s. That's how I got started. Right. But I'm not doing that anymore. I do private label now. I'm building my own brand, but you got to start somewhere. Right. So you got to put in the time. So definitely, take action. Anyone else want to weigh in on this to give some advice? Yeah. Vadim.
I would like to add, I mean, assuming he has a mindset, assuming he's just not sure what way he wants to, which of those e-commerce ways are better, or maybe he needs to think what's more suitable for him. And I guess when I started my Amazon journey as well, I was kind of researching, so I could a little bit relate to what he's, I guess, trying to ask. I mean, he's there, he's motivated to do something, but he's just not sure because there are so many ways he could go. And there's lots of information about each of these: private label, print on demand, arbitrage. But I think the most important is to understand that besides providing money, like some kind of income, like all these ways could be profitable, but it's also about the lifestyle. So you need to think which of these will you want to be. For example, if you want to go to arbitrage, So you're gonna spend time, I guess, a lot of footwork as well, going out, finding deals, maybe going to these stores where you can buy things at discount, and later on you will have to outsource, look for staff to do that. So each of these has a lifestyle, and when I chose run Amazon business, I went private label, and I specifically decided this is going to be just only run from laptop. I'm not going to do any packing, any shipping, any checking. So I forced myself to ship directly from China to US. And I just put myself in that position that everything I will do is from my laptop, just to give myself this opportunity to travel, to build this lifestyle that I wanted to be free, I guess. And I think out of all those ways that you mentioned, FBM, again, you would have to ship and pack. Print on demand, I guess it's also good, but a lot depends on Facebook ads. You need to hire, I guess, find designers, pay for designs, test designs. Also been researching that a lot. I think private label for me was a winner out of this, because it's just focusing on one thing, creating a really valuable brand that could provide long-term value. It's not just like a print on demand. You create nice design, it works for Father's Day, and then you move on to the next one. It's and same with arbitrage. It's also like going through so many different products. I just thought just focusing on one, building something really important, valuable. I think private label really gives you that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I think with that, I mean, exactly what you said. Yeah, all of the other ones, you haven't actually got a business. Yeah, so if you do print on demand, you haven't really got a business. Arbitrage, drop shipping, FBM maybe. I just tell a very small story here, which was like last week we had like 500 products delivered to our apartment because our supplier said they didn't have time to pack them before Chinese New Year. And yeah, we really realized what this factory were doing. Yeah, it took us 2 days to pack all this stuff, and it was like a nightmare. And we're like, never again am I bringing all these products to our house. I had like 4 staff working in my living room, and it was like, yeah, it was a nightmare. We need to label them, box them, bag them, etc., etc. And it's like, no, we're not doing this again. Carry them up and down from downstairs to the delivery guy. So for me, private label. And before you start,
your audio is kind of cutting in and out. I know you're in China. There's issues with the internet.
Sorry, my signal's not very good. Sorry. Can you hear me okay or not?
Yeah,
I can.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, for me, before you start, think about how you're going to build a brand and what the other products are that you're going to add to that product that you thought of at the beginning. So it's not just about for me, I don't think you should be like, selling a cup, and then, selling a silicon spatula or something like that. Yeah, like jumping around all over the place. If you're going to build like if you're going to sell plates, then you're going to sell plates and cups and stuff like that. You're going to build a brand around it, but you need to be checking that niche out first, rather than, selling a cup and let's say, a dog toy or something like that, because these just don't go together unless you have a plan like me to build 2 brands. But I think that should come later. We kind of just drifted into another brand. And when we looked at that brand, we ascertained, what other products could we add to this brand to make it successful and stand out? And the other thing Paul was talking about, on having a brand, I had an interesting conversation on Clubhouse I'm just going to bring in here a little bit, which was, I was talking to Shopify sellers and I was telling them, our website doesn't really convert very much for sales. And they were asking me like, well, do you sell on Amazon? And I'm like, yeah. And they were like, well, that's one of the reasons, people are just go to Amazon to buy it because they're lazy. They were like, have you ever tried like removing some products from Amazon or only selling the products on your website, like doing limited edition versions or something like that? And I was like, no, I haven't really tried it. Well, this week, one of our ASINs got blocked on Amazon, and I noticed our sales of that ASIN really picked up on our website. So it kind of comes back to what the guy was saying. Yeah. So I don't think the sales will ever be what they are on Amazon, but it was kind of interesting to see that. Yeah. So
we see the same thing. And one of the things that we leverage that for our advantage, because I know being in the baby space, moms are going to research. Our target moms they're going to research what the best product is for their babies. And so when they go to our website, they see that the price is $18.99 for the same product they can get on Amazon for $16.97 or $15.97, depending on where we are in the year. So that's one reason why we're able to sell our product, our stuff at nearly twice the cost of our competition, because I leverage that psychology. And I know that people are looking for us by name because it's autocomplete in Amazon. We actually have search term data available from Amazon itself. And then again, like coming back to like when we go out of stock, our sales go through the roof on Shopify. So
yeah, exactly. I think actually there's an opportunity to leverage Amazon to drive traffic to your own website by like having different color versions or something like that in your A+ content and on your store, but not actually having them on Amazon. They're out of stock, so the only place they can be sold is on your website. I definitely seen similar where we go out of stock on, let's say, certain colors, and people come through our mini chat or come through our website and ask like, when's this back in stock? Can I buy it from your website, etc., etc. So
a few things that I've seen as well is also other sellers leveraging it is actually implementing .com in their logo. So they actually have a logo, which is a website, and they get away with promoting their websites that way. And they also, they gave me this tip as well. If you ever launch something, do this, like add this .com at the end. It makes a big difference. And sometimes we do that also with images. We actually add websites in one of the images. Usually it's a brand image, or we add social media. I think it's quite safe to do in listing images, perhaps not on main image or EBC content, which is much more strict. But if you add a small line somewhere in your listing images, it also could promote your brand. Also, social media posts, like you could create image that for some sellers we did like join our squad, and we show that there's a girl checking on Instagram, she getting a lot of likes. So it just gives this impression that this brand is also existing outside Amazon, already established. And it could be Instagram posts also, just giving this impression that you're established brand outside Amazon, and then people would go outside and look for you. So that's also what I could add.
Excellent. Yeah. So
I think it's important. It's important to really understand what you want to do, though, because I've definitely seen people do this. And basically what they did was they effectively removed sales from Amazon. And obviously they get a higher percentage commission when they sell it on their own store. But that also means a decline on the sales on Amazon, right? So if you are making a ton of money from the sales on Amazon, by doing this, you might remove sales that might actually drop your rankings, right? So I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying you definitely have to have a good strategy around what it is you're doing. Definitely building a brand and so on makes a lot of sense, but I see people who have actually done the opposite. So they have their own website, but within their website, instead of selling it straight there, they actually link to their Amazon product. But I'll just say you definitely have to don't just jump on it and say, oh, it's more commission when I sell on my own site. Like you have to think through the actual impact on Amazon sales and what that does to your rankings as well, if that's a primary source of your income.
Yeah, we were linking to our own website originally, but actually what we've done now is we added an exit intent pop-up. So if people are leaving without buying anything, then it pops up and say, oh, I'd rather buy it on Amazon, like click here. So
excellent. Well, thanks so much for all of the perspectives. Easy. I think the ultimate takeaway, at least for me, based on these conversations, is number one, you have to move forward, right? You have to choose one of these options. Private label for a lot of sellers is the more scalable business because you're not, hunting around in different retail shops. You can scale all of the fulfillment, et cetera, which is, why I moved to it. But I understand, in the beginning, private label can be more capital intensive, right? You might have to invest $3,000 or whatever amount, and the initial shipment probably from China. It takes some time for that, but arbitrage, on the other hand, it's lower cost investment. Basically, it's your time, right? You're hunting, online or offline. So that could be one way, smaller initial capital investment, you can get some capital in your account, and then you can move on to the next thing, and take that experience. But whatever it is, I think number one, you got to take action on one of these methods. So we kind of laid out the buffet. You got to choose what you want to eat. All right. So I hope that helps. Easy. Yeah.
I'm actually also a big fan of building a little bit of an audience first, particularly if you have something going for you, right? Because I think one of the most difficult things is when you buy your first product and you have 3 family members you can ask to go buy it, kind of thing. Like if you have no audience at all, you can definitely do it, but it's definitely not an easy battle if it's your first product, right?
Right.
So if you have any kind of community, or if you're targeting the product towards a certain angle, being able to build some audience, or at least it doesn't have to be a list, but it could even be things like Facebook groups where you're very active and so on, where you have people that are potentially looking to buy your product. That I like that approach as well, because if you can put a product online and you can get 50, 100 sales or something just from natural avenues, like it makes a huge difference in the beginning, right? Particularly your first product.
100%.
To that point, if you look at like how social media influencers that have millions of followers, I mean, Kylie the Jenners, for example, like you can launch anything. If you have 1 million people that are following you, I mean, you just poll your audience. What are you looking, or what they buy? You can make your own version. And I mean, social media influencers do this all the time. They sell millions and millions of dollars worth of. I mean, look at this kid Ryan, on YouTube. You know who I'm talking about, Gary? It's your kid's watch. So there's this kid. His name is Ryan. I can't remember his last name, but I think it's Ryan's World. That's who he is on YouTube. Kid made over $55 million last year. 28 million was from his toy line that he developed. He started his YouTube channel the same year that I started selling on Amazon in 2015. In like April of 2015, he started doing toy unboxing videos with his dad. And it is insane how much money that kid is making. The reason he's making that money is he's producing content that's engaging, and he's built an audience. And that's the thing, is like, I think that the conversation is shifting in the Amazon space to how quickly can I get to spot number 1, to really, you look at the brands that are crushing it. They're brands. Brands are crushing it. Brands crush it. Brands sell for higher multiples. Because they built those audiences. I mean, shoot, I'm like, man, maybe I should have been doing unboxing videos for 5 years, and now I'd be making $55 million this year or something.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the other day I was on Clubhouse, and there was a TikToker on there, and she said she was doing Amazon affiliates, and she's going live 6 days a week. She's got like 1 million followers on TikTok, and basically she's like selling stuff through Amazon affiliate. She gets around 5,000 people every time she goes live. I actually sent her a message and say, hey, how about developing your own brand with us?
Yeah, that, I mean, ultimately building a brand, I mean, that's the way to differentiate yourself, right? I mean, obviously you got to have a good product, but if you think of even like, like water, for example, why can, brands like Avion sell their water for like $7 a bottle, and what you can just drink tap, right? It's the same thing. It's all branding. It's like luxury prestige from the French Alps. They have that history, that tradition, right? I mean, building a brand. And I love that example you used, Paul. I mean, Ryan's World. I just brought them up on YouTube. 28.4 million subscribers from Ryan. A kid on YouTube doing unboxing videos.
He's 9 years old. Another thing I would say on brand is actually there's a story that was produced by NPR about vodka. How basically people don't. One of the defining traits of vodka is that it has to taste like nothing. It can't have any taste. And so they did all these blind taste tests, and basically they bought like a vodka thing, and then they proofed it themselves. Proofing is when you add water to cut down some of the alcohol content. And people that were doing the blind taste test actually liked the NPR vodka better than like big brands like Grey Goose or it really it's literally branding. That's all it is. That's why Chanel can sell you a vinyl fake leather bag for $750 or $3,000 Why?
Right.
Because they built a brand. But
Right.
yeah, Mads, I saw you had unmuted, so I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
I would like to ask Paul, actually.
I had that conversation, sorry, about the bag with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, it's really good quality leather. I'm like, I've bought the best quality leather in the world, and it's like 64 euros per square meter. So I said, there's not even a square meter in that bag. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, when we talk about building a brand, I mean, I was selling in baby niche as well for 2.5 years. I was in baby safety category. I successfully sold my brand last year. But yeah, when I was trying to get outside Amazon as well, and I guess that's a very common question for those who are now selling on Amazon FBA. How do you build a brand, actually? I mean, even if you have a branding, if you have a certain style, logo, packaging, great customer service on Amazon FBA, where would you start, like going outside? I mean, social media is one way, but yeah, maybe you could clarify like some of the pointers. What would be actually the steps that would make you a brand outside Amazon space?
My thinking on this is constantly evolving. And Chris has mentioned Clubhouse a handful of times, and I've been on Clubhouse since December, early part of December, like the first week or something. And I know that technically I'm an influencer in the Amazon space because that's what people call me. So I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm an influencer. I just don't think of myself as an influencer. I just think of myself as Paul. I'm a dad, and I like to help people. And it just so happens that I get to do that from stages. And I've grown my following on Clubhouse to about, it's almost 7,000 right now, which is crazy to me, because I don't really care about other platforms. I'd really enjoy Clubhouse because I get to give back. And one of the things that I've sort of discovered in Clubhouse is that if you can work with people that have greater influence than you, and then they'll help build your influence alongside theirs. The thing is that you have to have something to give. You have to have some sort of value. And so that's how I'm thinking in terms of like transferring that knowledge to social media in general. It also goes in line with what I talk about with nano influencers, that if you can really, branding is what your brand is, what your customers think it is. It's not what you say it is. It's what they think it is. It's what they tell you about your brand back to them. So we're constantly listening to our customers and asking them who they think we are and what they think we should sell, actually. And so I would start with social media because it's the most attainable for anyone. And there's millions of ways to do it wrong. And the only real way to do it right is just to actually care about your people and put content out in front of them that's going to help them, whatever that may be. The days of hacking yourself, million followers. Yeah, you can do that. Honestly, when we first started with Instagram, I paid for a service that was supposed to be getting us real engagement from real people. Complete lie. Like they basically had a whole team of bots that, anyway. If you think it's too good to be true, if you see that there's some sort of hack, some shortcut that people are saying, I would just look at like what people are successful and copy what they've done. That I go back to, again, like look at the very first post that somebody's ever done. So I start with social media. The other thing that I do is I really love PR hacking. PR or public relations really is just being nice to people and making friends. That's it. Like if you can talk to people and you're not a dick, you can be good at PR. Because really, like, it's just talking to journalists and talking to bloggers. And you need to understand that people don't care about you. Like, this is silly, but like your mom cares about you, your dad cares. I hope your mom cares about you, but really you care about you more than anybody else on the planet cares about you. So you need to think through that lens too, of like, when you're coming to somebody who has more influence than you need to think through their eyes. How can I help them? And if you can't come up with a no-lose scenario that you can't help them, and you may not feel like you can, good case in point, when we partnered with Lauren Holiday she's a former Olympian, amazing story. Her husband plays for the Bucks in the NBA. My pitch was basically, hey, we want to produce a print of our swim diapers for you in partnership with you, and we're going to donate 100% of the proceeds to charity. Now that I thought it was going to be amazing. We were going to get like all this press, and we didn't get a ton of press. But what I learned about that is when working with people that have more influence, if you can come to them with a servant mindset of how you can serve them, how you can help them accomplish the goal that they have, you can go anywhere in life. You could probably get a meeting with Elon Musk. If you find out like what it is that his goal is to get to Mars. So he knows that everything that they do is designed to get to Mars by 2024. So knowing that, if there was a way that I could say, I'm going to help you get to Mars and I'm going to do whatever in my power, you can get a meeting with kings. It doesn't matter. If you go in it with you service first, I'm going to help you be selfless. Understand like what I would redo with the Olympian thing is I would have more asks on the promotion side. But it was a good learning experience. That was a winding answer. I feel like, did that help?
Yeah, I think that mindset when approaching influencers, right? You really want to have that servant mindset. Help them, help you as well, right? It's win-win, and it reminds me of what Matt's is going to speak about in terms of affiliate marketing, because when you approach them, actually you're helping them because you're giving them a product that they can promote and get Amazon commissions from. Right. And, you can help them with a free product and, basically anything they need. So, it basically, you just make it really easy. They will say, yes, please, please send me the product. Right. So I think, definitely you gotta, you gotta.
Do you think the amount of products also matters when it comes to being a brand? That if you're a brand, there should be more products than just one, I guess. And if it's a one-off product that, someone buys and that's it, they're not going to buy again. What else can you offer as a brand?
Potentially, I think a brand is a story. It's a personification of a feeling. But think of like, what are the pet rocks? They're literally rocks in a box.
Right.
They're rocks in a really cute box, and that's it. And people paid money for that stuff. Why? Because it had a great story. And they built a brand around this story of having a pet rock, which is, before my time, but I love just the psychology of that. It's insane.
Right. Yeah. So, we're over time, guys. If you can stay on for a couple more minutes, I'd love to, but if not, you got to run. Definitely. I know you guys have, busy schedules ahead, but I think this is awesome. What we covered from all these different perspectives, talking about branding, and we have a shout out from our friend Cameron Walker, Planet Money. Love that podcast. I think that was in reference to the NPR.
Yeah, I think, that was the vodka deal.
The vodka, right? Yeah. Cameron is one of our speakers, actually. He's going to speak tomorrow. He's an 8-figure seller. He laid down the 10 ways he scaled his family business 8 figures. He's also based in China and good friends with Chris Davey and myself as well. So definitely check that out, guys. Any other questions before we go, guys? Any questions from the audience? And while we get some last questions, I'd love to just go around the table and just ask, what's the best way for people to connect to you guys if they want to learn more? So let's start with Vadim.
The best way is to, I guess, Facebook, email. There are links under my talk, but or my just website, zonephoto.com. You can book a session there with me. It's the easiest way.
Awesome. So Vadim, he's like a master when it comes to images. So if you need help with images, definitely talk to Vadim, and you can get more info in our sessions on his sessions page. Next, Chris Davey. What's the best way to connect?
Yeah, if you watch my session right at the end there's a whole screen there where I show you how to connect with me. So
also a quick shout out. Once we reopen and can travel again, Chris runs the largest Amazon seller meetup in China during Canton Fair. FBA4U, they get like 500 people, after the fair for networking to meet other sellers. So I highly recommend it next time. Whenever we can open up and travel again, Chris is the man. And also for his all access pass, I just like to highlight, if you upgrade to the all access pass, you get to book a 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with Chris, with the 7-figure seller. That's like literally he's crushing it. So I think that's priceless. If you haven't upgraded
sessions with me, actually this morning I got up, I already have some sessions booked and messages on Instagram as well from people that watch my sessions. So
Yeah, so Chris has been super generous with his time. If you haven't upgraded yet, now's your chance. I mean, Chris charges hundreds and hundreds of dollars per hour. So I mean, this is a no-brainer, guys. And we may have to. I don't know how long we can run this before Chris gets fully booked.
I don't even do mentoring anymore. Yeah, so this is just a special. I'm like, oh, mentoring is like taking too much time. Yeah, although I like doing it, I'm not really making any money from it, and I'm not really selling anything. So it's like I actually stopped mentoring. So like the only way you can get mentoring with me is through having the all access pass. Yeah. So
that's awesome. Okay, so that would be great if you guys want to check that out. 7figuresellersummit.com/order. And next, Mads, what's the best way to connect with you?
Yeah, also social is good. I mean, I'm Facebook, LinkedIn, and so on. And also my website, mattsingers.com. Also run an outsourcing company, aristosourcing.com. But yeah, I'm generally very available all over the interweb.
Yeah, so Mads is based in Saigon in Vietnam, and he also runs a VA agency in the Philippines. And so he's an expert at that. He's helped me with good hires for my team as well. So if you need help with VAs, definitely talk to Matt. And Paul, what's the best way to connect with you?
Yeah, so I got two offers. I got the one for the upgrade only, and then the free one, which anybody can do, is TCA. That stands for the chat agency, tca.life/7, the number 7, FSS. So just like hashtag 7FSS. And that actually goes through, I'm going to give you a couple templates that I use inside ManyChat. But I would definitely say, if you're on Clubhouse, you can follow me there. I'm pretty active. In fact, I was in 2 different Clubhouse rooms today. I run one every Wednesday, and I'd love to have you guys on there too, Gary. I don't know if you're in Clubhouse or not, but I can get you an invite.
I am. I would love to. Let me know the time, because I'm in Japan.
Yeah.
I hope we can do it at a good time. Yeah.
It is 3 p.m. Mountain Time, so that'll be probably in the morning-ish. I don't know. That's GMT -7 or 6 or something right now.
Okay,
so
I'll figure it out. It might be in the middle of the night, but maybe,
I think it is in the middle of the night. Yeah, I wanted to join a few times. I think it's like 3 a.m. for me or something like that in China.
Yeah. It's hard because I was running them at 11 a.m. Mountain, and last week I got back from a vacation, and I got back at home like I had scheduled it at 4 p.m. and like got back just in time to start it. So we had a little bit better turnout. So anyway, yeah, I'm really active on Clubhouse. You can find me on LinkedIn if you want really old, out of date info, because I never update anything. So there you go. That's me. Yeah, you can find me.
How do they find you on Clubhouse? What's your handle?
Just Paul Barron. Super complicated.
Just your name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just my name, Paul Barron. Made it really hard. So yeah, so follow me there, and like I said, I started the room just as a way just to give back, and it's been it's actually the longest running room for Amazon sellers. I don't know what's up with my club because they haven't given me a club yet, but I've been recording the sessions and making those available for free. So that's one perk of my rooms.
That's awesome, man. So definitely check out Paul in Clubhouse, and I'm dabbling more on Clubhouse as well. So excellent. Thank you so much, everyone. Vadim, Chris, Mads, Paul, and Emma, who had to cut out earlier. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and definitely check out their sessions if you haven't already. I mean, talking about marketing, branding, images, launching on page 1, affiliate marketing, and influencer strategy. I mean, these are all the different pieces of the puzzle, guys. All right, so good luck, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow. Day 3 will be all about scaling your business, so definitely don't miss that. And we have the all access pass available. If you missed out on day 1, the sessions are closing. Definitely upgrade, and you get all access to everything. And I'm working from home. I apologize for the baby noise. Such is the nature of life these days. So thank you again, everybody.
We're past the baby noises, so every time I hear those, it like makes my heart smile. So thanks, Gary.
Yeah, trying to cherish this time. So thank you, everybody, and we will see you guys in the next session. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.